So the three strike rule, it's essentially a policy, normally like a disciplinary policy actually, where an employee is given 2 warnings for infractions, and on the third offence, I'm using that language deliberately, they potentially face termination or action short of dismissal. And it's a popular approach because it provides like a clear, structured framework for addressing repeated misconduct. People perceive it as being kind of fair because it sets expectations for employees and it gives a straightforward method for managers to follow. There's probably a space where there's a legitimacy to it as a kind of a background framework because of its perceived fairness and its perceived simplicity. And I think where the situations we've got clear-cut repetitive behaviours that need to be managed, like lateness or specific kind of procedural violations, having that structured system, yeah, just provides a structure that's consistent across the group. However, it has some significant downsides. So I think firstly, it fosters like a punitive culture, rather than a developmental one. So um, basically, employees might feel they're kind of under threat. They need to look over their shoulder essentially, rather than feeling safe to kind of learn and develop. And more importantly, this framework could exist in the background. You don't have to advertise it to your team. They don't need to know about it. Because I think when you do that, particularly within a contact center environment, people might go, well, I've got another strike, or I've got 2 more strikes. There's almost like a gamification of the system that happens quite a lot. So if you have it in the background, it becomes super important then around how you address the underlying cause of the issue. So rather than just punishing, is actually helping your team members improve. I think that's a more engaging way of kind of using it. So I think, yeah, I said it fails to address kind of the underlying cause of the problems, sort of punishing rather than helping employees to improve. I think what that does is create like a toxic environment, really, which is never a great spot to be in. If it's just woven into how your contact center operates, maybe that's something that becomes in the background. Your team don't need to know that there's 3 strikes. I think you'd obviously apply discretion around when you were going to use it. What's more important is that the kind of the performance lens you apply to day-to-day running of your team is just stronger. So ongoing culture, an ongoing coaching culture and feedback culture. So regular in the moment conversations, rather than sort of bottling things up and saving them to when you have a formal conversation. I think I'd be mortified to think of a call center agent arriving at a meeting where it's the first strike conversation and they have no idea that that's coming. Focus on strengths. So rather than looking at the things people are doing wrong, what are they doing right? So how can you kind of replicate good behavior and boost people rather than focus on things they're doing wrong? Um, I think that all leads to a belief that feedback is a gift. So when you've got a team climate where feedback's viewed as a valuable gift, not a punishment, you get a more open, high-performing environment. We like to say that coaching is a mindset, not a meeting. And I think if you put that principle to play, day to day, then you should not have to have this is your strike 1, your strike 2, final strike kind of conversation.